Have you ever spent Mother's Day completely alone? Have you ever looked at the phone, waiting for it to ring, and it never does? Or felt your heart twist when someone asks, "Aren't you happy with what they send you every month?" Pause, distant ticking clock sound, greater than. That day, my son came home after 3 long years. He was dressed like a man the world would call successful, but the words that came out of his mouth cut deeper than any silence ever could. He said, "Mom, are you happy with the $5,000 Clara sends you every month?" Music softens, shift to warm tone. And that question changed everything. I was folding laundry when I heard the sound of tires on gravel. When I looked outside, there it was, a shiny black car parked right in front of my porch. My heart began to race. And then, he stepped out. My son, Michael. My firstborn. The boy I once held in my arms while whispering prayers over his little head. It had been 3 years since I'd last seen him. He walked up the steps, holding a bouquet of lilac, my favorite. "Happy Mother's Day, Mom," he said. I smiled, though my heart trembled. Well, Lord have mercy. Look who still remembers where his mama lives. He chuckled awkwardly. His suit looked expensive. His shoes probably cost more than my monthly groceries. We sat down in the living room, the same one where he used to do his homework, where we once celebrated his 10th birthday with homemade cake. Then, out of nowhere, he asked, "Mom, are you happy with the $5,000 Clara sends you every month?" For a moment, I didn't know what to say. Happiness. $5,000. I looked down at my old, wrinkled hands and said softly, "Son, happiness can't be mailed. It has to be felt right here, hand over chest." He frowned. "Mom, I just want you to be comfortable." "Comfortable," I said, smiling gently. "Son, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm just unseen." He looked away. I saw guilt flicker in his eyes. But before we could talk more, the door opened. And there she was, Clara, my daughter-in-law. Pretty, polished, and carrying the air of someone who's never waited for a bus in her life. "Oh, Mrs. Hayes," she said with that practiced smile. "You're still living here?" "Yes," I replied softly. "This is home." She glanced around the house, the faded wallpaper, the family photos, the crocheted doilies on the tables. "We could move you into a better place, you know. Something modern. This house looks tired." I smiled. "Child, this house has seen more love than most people see in a lifetime." She forced a laugh. "You don't have to live like this. We can buy you something nicer." "Nicer," I said. "You can't buy the sound of my husband's laughter that still echoes here, or the smell of my son's favorite pie I used to bake right there by that window." She looked a bit uncomfortable. "Well," she said, "it's just, we send you money every month. You could at least renovate a little." I looked at her kindly. "Money builds walls, Clara. But love builds homes." Michael stood silent. He didn't defend me. He didn't defend her either. Just stared at the floor. They left soon after. No hugs, no warmth, just the faint trail of Clara's perfume and the quiet ache of what used to be family. As their car disappeared down the road, I whispered to myself, "Lord, they forgot that love isn't counted in dollars." That night, the rain didn't stop. I sat by the window, the same way I did the night Michael left for college. The rain had always made me feel less alone, as if the sky cried with me. I brewed a cup of tea, took a slow sip, and that's when I noticed it. A folded note under my teacup. I opened it, my hands trembling. It read, "Mom, you were right. I forgot where I came from. Clara and I have been living fast, trying to build everything, except time with you. I'm sorry. I'll be back next Sunday, not as a millionaire, but as your son." Tears blurred the ink as I whispered, "Thank you, Lord." Sometimes, prayers don't need words, they just need a breaking heart. A week later, the same car pulled up again, but this time, there were no fancy suits. Michael wore jeans. Clara carried a homemade pie. "We brought lunch," she said shyly. I smiled. Now that's something money can't buy. They stayed the whole day. We laughed. We cooked. Clara even helped me plant new flowers near the porch. And when the sun began to set, Michael said quietly, "Mom, thank you for never giving up on me." Pause. I placed my hand over his and said, "Son, a mother doesn't stop loving. She just waits until love remembers its way home. So if you still have a mother, call her, visit her, Don't let her measure your love in monthly deposits. Because someday, when the world grows quiet, you'll realize the richest moments were never the expensive ones. They were the ones where love stayed even when everything else left. This was the story of Evelyn Hayes, a woman who proved that no amount of money can replace the sound of a child coming home.